Yeah, Paul Thorpe. I can't get to the bottom of this Paul Thorpe turn out, yeah. Um, because something's happened to the guy in Woodhill, yeah. The guy in Woodhill went to court for on the appeal. Everything was sweet before that, yeah. After he got knocked back on his appeal, right? Paul Thorpe, Danny already lives in Spain, but Paul Thorpe's run from his place in Brighton. He hasn't took his wife. He hasn't done nothing like that. He's run. So he's gone to Spain, and he's telling us, right, he's in a suite in a hotel that he's in a bad way. He can't handle England. The police are on his case 24/7, and even when he comes to Spain, the customs and excise hold him for ages. No one knows. No one's seen any proof of that. No one's seen no nothing, no paperwork, nothing. Yeah, but he keeps saying that. Yeah. Anyway, then all of a sudden, he becomes Paul Thorpe again. A minute ago, he was a little coward, wasn't he? He was, he was like all bundled up a little ball, wasn't he? All humped back and all creased all over his face. He was in a bad way, wasn't he? Yeah. 2 days later, all that had gone. He was back to normal. Said, "Oh yeah, I got stopped down the road. I was on my scooter. Please stop me." Paul, Paul Thorpe. If the police stop you, mate, you had something in front of you. You had a phone or you had something on your chest, yeah? So why didn't you take pictures of the police pulling you over? Well, because Paul, that's what you done. Why didn't you do it with the police in London? Why didn't you do it with the police in Spain? Why didn't you do all that? Why have you got to tell these lies all the time, yeah? Okay. And all of a sudden, then you get back to super chats, yeah? Okay, look, listen. If people, if people in London, in England, want to give you super chats and give you money, and then when you go to, and when you run away again, or you go back to England and pick this, I don't know what you're going to do, Paul. It sounds as if you're going to stay, you're going to stay in Spain. You look okay to me. Nothing's wrong with you, mate. You're back to normal, and all you're doing really is the same thing as you've done all the time. Super chats, taking people's money, mate. You take people's money. Where's it going? You said before that all the money that I do on super chats goes to the guy in Woodhall prison. But the guy in Woodhall prison is Keiko, mate. He's got plenty of money. People are sending him money all the time. He doesn't need money. You know that, you know. People are sending him money every day from all over England. Money to his private cash, yeah. So you know that he doesn't need that money. You know that his wife doesn't need that money, and yet you're telling us you're sending it to his wife and his kids. For his wife and kids. You're lying, Paul. You know what I mean? And now you're back to it again, doing super chats, making out, and so I've got someone on my line, yeah, on my channel tells me a lot about you, Paul. You know what I mean? A lot about you and the way you are. These people know you quite well, yeah, and they're telling me all about you, mate. You know what I mean? You're no good, Paul. And you're good at what you do. I can't say that. You're professional. You're professional at what you do, yeah? You're really good at what you do, the way you chat, and the way you look, like your white teeth and all this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? And, you just take the mickey out of people, mate, really. Super chat, people sending you money. And you're telling us you don't need anybody's money, you got your own money, you're quite well off. Yeah, well, so why are you taking other people's money? Send it, do something with it. Do something, send it to people. Send it to people that you need it. You sent 5 grand to that woman, yeah, on YouTube, yeah. But that money, you've, you've got hundreds of £5. You've got hundreds of £50 notes and all that. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean nothing to send her that sort of money, 5 grand. It don't mean nothing, mate. It don't mean a thing. You're using it for your own needs. You're not silly, mate. Well, when I say we're not silly, uh, I know I'm not silly, and I know I can see right through it, mate. You know what I mean? I can see right through it. I've got super chat on my channel, yeah, on my channel. People don't put money into my channel, because I'm not begging for it. You know what I mean? I'm not begging for it like you're begging for it. You know, you're begging for money to go into your channel. Oh, you know, the way you are, Paul. It's the way you are, mate. You don't need to do that. You've got no what conversation you got, Paul? What conversation you got? You can't talk about your life. Well, tell me what else you got, mate. You know what I mean? You ain't got no conversation, Paul. You know, you know, a big thing, big massive thing about your boy, 700 grand, you know, Rolex scam. Okay, mate, you had nothing to do with it, yeah, but you can't say you didn't know what was going on. That's an impossibility. It's your son. You know what I mean? He's working just round the corner from you, mate, you know? Anyway, I've had enough of talking about you in a minute, you know what I mean? I just look at what you're doing now. I'll go on YouTube and check it out, you know, and, you know, you've just gone to Spain again and you're living out there for a bit of time. And what about your wife in Brighton? What about your poor wife? And you're saying to me you're doing everything for your family. You know what I mean? Well, anyhow, bang, bang, well, nice one.